Hello, my name is Brittany Deigh. I am a psychic medium and spiritual teacher. My divine purpose is to assist in the expansion of the collective consciousness and to help you become more connected with the divine. This is a space to remember all that you truly are and ignite the possibilities of your highest potential. Hello. Welcome back for another episode. Today we're going to talk about why you got to just heal, man. You got to stop waiting around for them to begin your healing. This is literally codependency at its finest. I waited years. I'm not kidding you guys. Literally years waiting for my mom and my brother to recognize their actions and to want to connect with me on a deep level and to see me and to really take responsibility and apologize or any kind of accountability or any kind of reconciliation for their actions. And I also am finding myself in the same position with one of my dearest friends. And also, for a time period, I was there with my partner. Just waiting and dying and hoping that they will see me. That's really ultimately what it was. Is I wanted them to see what they had done. I wanted them to see how it had affected me. I was just trying so hard to be understood and seen by them. Won't you validate my experience? This is what you did. It hurt me. You abused me. You put your hands on me. You yelled at me. You gaslighted me. You belittled me. You abused me and neglected me, and it hurt. And it affected my life and my experience. And I literally held up the show on my own healing, trying to be quote unquote patient with their process. I betrayed myself and abandoned myself to be empathetic and compassionate and patient, not knowing that I was literally fueling the fire. That is codependency at its finest. Abandoning yourself for the sake of someone else or anything outside of yourself. I knew that I felt horrible inside, waiting and waiting and waiting to heal, waiting for this to be addressed. And I chalked it up to thinking that I was being patient, that I was being compassionate, that I was being empathetic, not knowing that I was destroying myself on the inside. Waiting for healing that is no one else's job. That's between me and God. And that's the thing, that it's this beautiful, challenging, but beautiful experience to recognize that these people are not the answer. These things outside of yourself are not the answer. God is the answer. And that as long as you validate your own feelings and your own experience, it's up to them whether they want to accept that or not. And very literally, by you being quote unquote patient or compassionate or empathetic with them more than yourself and your own experience, abandoning yourself, you're hiding and keeping the shame hidden away. You're hiding their shame for them. That's theirs to deal with. It was never yours in the first place. Their pain, their suffering, their anger, their resentment, their pissed offness at God was projected on you. That was their poison that poured over onto you. And you held it and you carried it, thinking one day you'll take this bag back off my back and put it on your back. Waiting and waiting and waiting, carrying this big sack on your back. And you got to just eventually one day say, I'm just putting the sack down. You don't have to pick it up. You can do whatever you want, but I'm putting the sack down. I am done carrying this. And I'm going to validate my own experience because I know that I've been carrying this for years or months or whatever it is, weeks. And I'm going to put it down. And energetically, because it's actually theirs at the core, it'll automatically go back to them for them to deal with. But that doesn't matter. That's literally irrelevant to you. Because they will likely keep trying to kick the bag down the stairs on someone else. Someone else, please pick up this bag. I don't want to pick it up. I haven't wanted to pick it up for years and I don't want to pick it up now. And they'll just project it onto the next person. And that person might carry it for some time and then get sick of carrying it and finally put it in and it just boom, 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 boom. But it's not yours. It's not yours to carry. And eventually at some point, you got to care enough about yourself and have empathy with your experience, compassion with your experience, and stop betraying. Love yourself enough. Let God's grace into your heart enough to say, this is not my bag to carry. And I've carried it for quite some time. Even if you haven't, it isn't even, honestly, you shouldn't have carried it in the first place. It was never yours to carry. And by not putting it down and just being in your truth and saying, this is my story. I carried this stuff for a long time, but it was never mine to carry. By not doing that and continuing to suppress how you really feel and suppress what you're really experiencing and carrying that weight, you're literally hiding their shame for them. You're keeping them at bay from their own connection to God. And it is not your job to play God. You got to focus on you and stop waiting around. You're making excuses is what you're really doing. To sober up and change your life and stop carrying other people's trauma and projections and bullshit. You're saying it in the name of being empathetic and compassionate and patient, but really you're just betraying yourself and perpetuating your own toxic cycle. Nobody else has to validate your experience. Ooh, it's nice. Of course it's nice. And you'll find people in life, I can tell you firsthand experience, you'll find people, friends, soul fam, come magnetizing in as you validate your experience, people that really and truly want to validate validate you and your feelings and your experience. Even if it hurts them. Even if it's really challenging for them to accept that that is your truth, they do. But it's not your baggage to carry. And you can't wait around thinking that one day they'll come forward and take their bag and throw it back on their back. They threw it at you for a reason. They don't feel like they can carry it. They don't feel like God's love and grace can move through them and dissipate all of the pain that they're carrying, all the suffering that they're carrying. They don't believe that. That's why they projected it at you in the first place. And you're not helping nobody by carrying it. Not yourself, not them, not God, not the higher plan, nothing. And it is your duty, if you are a channel and a messenger of God's love, if you are here to be the most highest and best healed version of yourself, to be in your highest state of being, and you know that you came to evolve and to grow and to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be, then you got to stop making excuses. You got to stop waiting around for other people to see you and witness you and validate your feelings. You got to just start doing it yourself. Your experience was valid. Your feelings are valid. Your story is valid. If you feel it, it's valid. If you experienced it, it's valid. It's your truth. Your truth is always valid. And if your truth is too much for someone else, then let them go find less. That's fine. That's their sovereign choice. And when you really start respecting your free will, you'll really start respecting other people's free will. Allow them to make the choice, but stop getting in God's way. There is no reason. You have plenty, promise. You have plenty of your own shame to carry. You do not need to carry anyone else's baggage. And if they keep projecting at you and projecting at you and projecting at you, and you keep trying to be heard and you keep trying to be seen and you keep trying to say, I don't get why you can't see that my experience is valid too. And they keep saying to you, but I'm suffering. Stop making me look at my suffering. Be the light. Stand in the light of truth and believe in them. Believe in their ability and their power to turn to God and allow God to heal their suffering. Don't carry their suffering for them. You're not doing anyone any favors. And you're not being spiritually virtuous by being patient and being compassionate and empathetic. Maybe for a little while, maybe we all project, right? But if you come to the table and they just deny and dismiss, and they refuse to look at their own suffering that they're projecting on you, they refuse to look at your experience and accept your truth. You know, that song, it's like, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, throw the peace sign. Load the chopper, let it rain on you. Straight up. I hope I don't get copyrighted for quoting that. That's a quote, not by me. I don't know who it's by, but seriously, stop waiting around. I waited years, over and over again, trying to be heard, over and over again, trying to be seen. I'm too empathetic. I'm too compassionate for my own well-being. For my own sense of self. I will disconnect myself from God in order to be empathetic and compassionate, thinking that that is helpful for some reason. Instead of being empathetic and compassionate with myself and my own experience and saying, that's your own suffering to deal with. I love you, truly. But that's yours. And if you can hold yourself and really stand in that light of truth, I promise you will align with what is true. What is the divine truth? What is God's truth? When you really anchor into your truth, because there is no separation between the two, but you got to really start looking at, where are you in denial? Where are you betraying yourself? Where are you not being empathetic and compassionate with your own experience in the name of, I don't know, being spiritually virtuous or patient or whatever you want to call it? At some point, you got to say, I'm worthy of having a fulfilling life and a beautiful experience. So if that means not having you in it, if that means not being projected at all the time by you, then I'm at peace with that. I'm okay with that. I would rather have God. It's okay. You're not selfish, promise. And if you are spiritually bypassing and denying the truth at all, Spirit will reroute you over and over and over again until you see the truth. You have to validate your own experience. You have to validate your own emotions. And if your truth triggers someone else, let it be what it is. That is how they heal their wounds. And God's grace can heal absolutely anything. But you seriously have to stop waiting around for other people, anything outside of yourself, to change, some external circumstance to change, in order for you to stand in the light of your truth and to be who you truly are in your full, authentic, divine, beautiful expression. And I promise from the bottom of my heart that you deserve that, and that is only what God wants for you. And that will only align you further with the true plan, the divine plan, which is the most incredible place that you can exist in. And that you are doing a service to not only yourself, but to all, by allowing God to move through you and surrendering to what is bigger and what is greater. And stop making these people or things outside of you an excuse and a reason not to face yourself, not to deal with yourself, not to deal with your own denial and your own self-betrayal. You get to validate your own experience. And truth doesn't need validation. Your truth is your truth, period. The end. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed that episode. Please subscribe, leave a review, and if this was impactful for you at all, please share it with others. This is how we can help each other. Much love and namaste.